this is part one of a two-part story. I was playing with a essential novice player, Gordy Zind. At the time, I think this might have been his first ever tournament, is possible, or maybe first ever tournament outside of like playing, maybe at his local club. He was from Canada, I think Ottawa, up there. And I kind of got set up with him because he was a younger player at the time. This would have been back in 2010 at the Fall Nationals. We played in the Blue Ribbon Pairs. So previously at this tournament, I finished second place in the 2-day border match. And the Fall Nationals used to be this like lovely, lovely match point and border match only thing. Now they've polluted it with the Soloway knockouts and like some sort of Swiss teams, I think, as well. But it used to be all match points and all border match, which I loved. So Blue Ribbon is a 3-day pairs, like used to be a very premier event. Now, of course, it's kind of overshadowed by some of the team events that are being hosted on top of it. But at the time, all the best players were playing in it. It was one of the 3 match point events of the year that carried an enormous amount of weight and prestige. This was on day 2. So we qualified through day 1, and we sat down on day 2, played a few hands. Eventually, I was East. I pulled these hands from the hand record, so I can't promise I have all of the exact plays or auction up correctly, but the actual exact cards have been pulled from the hand record of the event. So this was my hand. I was East. My partner was West. Fred Gittleman was sitting South, and Brad Moss was sitting North. So this was the auction. I opened a diamond. South of her called a no trump. Partner led the Queen of Diamonds. And this was the dummy that hit. Lovely. We're playing standard honor leads, so this isn't King, Queen, Third or anything. So the hand plays out, and most of this first hand is a little bit uninteresting. I mean, we can talk through a couple of the decision points in the play. So I play low at trick 1, encourage. Declare plays back the 10 of diamonds, and partner follows. I once again play low. Another diamond, partner pitches a discouraging spade. So I win the ace. I switch to clubs, which looks like a pretty reasonable thing to do, single dummy. Partner wins the jack, continues the queen of clubs to declare his ace. King of clubs, pitching a heart. 9 of clubs. Partner follows with the 7. 10 of hearts. I overtake. I put a spade through. Declare wins the ace. Cashes another club. Exits the king of hearts. I play a spade to partner's king, who plays a heart to declare his 9 at the very end of play. So 8 tricks taken. This was not the most successful defense of any pair in the room. But, so that happened. That was board 1 of the 2-board round. Looks like we actually do have time to continue with the second part of the story. So I pick up this hand on the second board. Left-hand opponent opens a spade. My partner overcalls 2 clubs. Right-hand opponent bids 2 diamonds. I jump to 4 clubs, preemptive. Maybe not the most ideal bid, but that was the one that I chose at the table. 4 diamonds on my left, pass. 5 diamonds, I'll pass. So I thought for a long, long, hard time about my opening lead and decided that South was pretty unbalanced. The ace of spades was kind of like well positioned for them in a way, but not well positioned enough that I was like concerned they were just going to run the entire spade suit against me. And I also kind of figured that a club lead might be fairly worthless on this auction. So I got off to a trump lead, thinking that maybe South is short in one of the round suits and I can prevent... Oh, never mind. I got off to the ace of spades lead, apparently. Cool. I got up to the ace of spades lead, and then I saw this dummy. Don't remember the story, but I did input this hand a while back. And now after seeing the dummy, I switched to a trump. trying to prevent heart ruffs, basically. I can tell that a club through the ace queen isn't going to be effective. Declare will just win the ace. He has a singleton club in hand. So I switch to a diamond. Ace of diamonds holds the trick. Declare plays a heart to the queen, which holds. Cashes the ace of hearts, pitching a spade. And the king falls. Declare ends up claiming 11 tricks. Partner scores the king of diamonds. That was it. There was really nothing all that interesting about either of these two hands. The first deal, like the play didn't go great for our side, but we persevered. The second deal, I cashed the ace of spades at trick 1. So be it. I switched to a trump. I mean, fortunately, I did cash the ace of spades. Otherwise, this singleton spade would have gone away. And so I get up to walk away from the table. And at the time, Brad Moss had been on the most recent cover of the ACBL National Bulletin because he had won Player of the Year. And in fact, I think he had already secured Player of the Year prior to this tournament. Like, normally, Player of the Year is determined by how many platinum points you get during the 3 nationals. And so we were in the midst of a national, and he had already secured the race somehow. I don't know how, or maybe he was leading the race. I'm not entirely sure, but he was on the front cover of the Bridge Bulletin. And I was this 22-year-old kid at the time. And so Brad Moss, as I get up to walk away from the table, Brad Moss steps up and pulls me aside and goes, "Hey, you're a really good bridge player." And I'm and upon hearing this, I'm beaming. I'm really? Brad Moss, Player of the Year, just said that I was a really good bridge player? Wow, that's super cool. I wonder, did he hear that I just got second in that national? Or maybe it was something I did at the table or whatever. And so for about a year, I went on just believing that Brad Moss thought I was really awesome and cool. But here's what he actually meant by saying this, and I think this is more a testament to Brad trying to enforce good values, as opposed to necessarily giving some kid a compliment cool, you cashed the ace of spades, whatever, you held us to 11 tricks and 5 diamonds. My partner on the previous board had made this kind of pseudo ridiculous lead of queen from queen doubleton. It was in my diamond suit, but I the opponent's bid a no trump when I opened a natural diamond. So, and I just kind of continued sitting there and defending the hand, and I wasn't upset with partner. I didn't yell at him. I wasn't God, what an idiot. Partner also blew a club trick in the middle of the defense, but I was just whatever, it's fine. I mean, I had been playing with the guy for a day and a half at this point. And so Brad was trying to basically say you're a good bridge player because you're not upset with your partner. Your partner's making mistakes left and right and dumping tricks, and a lot of people in those spots would get really angry and yell at people, but here you are just still trying to take all your tricks on the deal, doing your best, and I move on to the next hand. I cash the ace of spades after a lot of thought. Maybe I had worked out North was pretty distributional for the way the auction had gone, and so that's, I think, what he meant. I still haven't asked him about it to this day. Maybe Brad will watch this video one day before he goes to his grave. But that's a very memorable experience for me.